Victorinox is the well-known maker of the original Swiss Army knife, a quintessential traditional multi-tool. Founded in 1884, the company has delivered knives to the Swiss Army for over 100 years. The Slim 2.0 is Victorinox's high-speed USB drive, available in various storage capacities from 4GB to 64GB. In this review, we're looking at the 16GB version. The Slim 2.0 is indeed slim, coming in at 2¼ inches long, a ½ inch wide, and just 1/4 inch thick. Weighing in at an amazing 1/8 of an ounce, it's a bit longer than the average length of a keychain USB, but the additional weight is negligible. The overall lightweight is thanks largely to the knurled aluminum scales, known as Alox scales, a shorthand for aluminum oxide scales. These mildly textured scales are available in a number of anodized colors, but the classic silver, in my opinion, is the best looking of the bunch. The scales are held together by 4 symmetrical brass pins. Construction is overall solid, and I would say above average for a keychain USB drive. The flash drive itself is encased in plastic with a thin layer of folded aluminum on the top and sides. The pillar construction of the scales and brass pins are solid with a little bit of play, but I think it would certainly resist crushing from ordinary use. The detachable USB stick is attached to the scales both by a shaped hook at the butt of the USB stick, as well as a claw-like latch which is itself embedded in one of the posts. Overall, the drive fits securely within the frame, but remarkably, it's slightly wider than the scales. I believe that this is a result of attempting to keep the proportions of the scales with the rest of the Alox line. The problem with this, of course, is that it limits the scale's ability to protect the drive that's encased inside of it from the sides. Deploying the flash drive simply requires swiveling the plastic lock at the end open and then popping it out at a 45-degree angle. The USB stick comes in a simple cardboard container with a plastic blister holding the drive inside of it, and it does have a number of useful pieces of information, specifically mentioning that the scales are made in Switzerland and the USB drive is made in Thailand, obviously with some of the USB components made in the USA. The flash drive comes with a 2-year warranty and is supposedly water resistant, although I would never consider testing that. When you plug the drive into a USB port, a red LED in the Victorinox Shield logo glows and blinks with activity. As is typical of flash drives, this drive has less than their advertised capacity and is registering at 15.1 gigabytes when it's completely unused. It seems to work seamlessly and quick on my Windows PCs, comparable with other 2.0 USBs, and I understand that it's both compatible with Pcs and Macs. One major selling point which commanded a much higher asking price for these flash drives was the availability of encryption hardware, but Victorinox stopped offering the software in 2012, and so this USB has the regular functions of a non-encrypted USB drive. Of course, there are programs which will enable you to encrypt any USB drive available online for those who have concerns about security, so the lack of proprietary software is not a big deal to me. At one point, this drive was significantly more than the $14 I paid for it, and so I think it's a buyer's market. For an everyday carry role, a flash drive is a useful thing to keep on your keychain. When it comes to retaining information, redundancy is usually a good idea. I'm working on a computer consistently at work, and the ability to quickly and easily have access to another backup drive is something I'm using all the time. Moreover, if you chose to encrypt, it's very easy to put contact information or other essentials in the event of losing your wallet or phone. For a more dedicated prepper, a USB stick is another very easy way to additionally back up a library of survival or medical or radio frequency information, which perhaps you would keep in a printed form in your go bag, but is also something that you could easily be separated from. And so having this information on your person in detail is, I think, again, a very easy redundancy. Overall, the Slim 2.0 is handsome, compact, and a good value for the level of quality that you're getting. I think that it's fairly sturdy, and the only fault that I can see in it is the fact that the scales aren't really well proportioned to the drive itself. Now, most of my USB drives haven't lasted more than a couple years on my keychain, so I will be providing updates as far as long-term durability is concerned. But for now, I can initially recommend this drive and say that I'm pleased with the purchase. Thank you very much for watching, and please consider subscribing.